What happens when we die? Real stories from beyond the veil. For years, researchers studying near-death experiences have uncovered strikingly consistent patterns. People describe leaving their bodies, entering a tunnel, and being greeted by a being of light. They often find themselves in a transcendent realm, a place so vivid, so deeply real, that it eclipses everything they've ever known in this life. In that realm, they meet deceased loved ones, encounter spiritual guides, and sometimes undergo a life review, witnessing the impact of their actions with extraordinary clarity. Many describe reaching a boundary, a point of no return. If they cross it, they know they'll die. If they choose to come back, life will never be the same. So it's fair to ask, is this what actually happens when we die? One woman remembers fading from reality. The world around had dissolved. And then the next thing she knew, she was observing her own body on the emergency room table. She could see the doctors working to revive her. She could feel their actions, the needles, the falls, even though her physical body was unresponsive. It was as if she had become a witness to her own life, completely conscious yet no longer bound to her physical form. Her illness was devastating, a rare and severe case of E. coli meningitis that left her in a coma. By the time her body was found, she had no vital signs. Medical staff eventually gave up after over an hour without life. Yet she was aware, not just of the room she was in, but of things happening far beyond it. She described an out-of-body awareness so complete, it shattered everything we believe about the connection between consciousness and the brain. Scans confirmed that every lobe of her brain was affected. Medically speaking, there should have been no consciousness at all. Yet in this brain-dead state, she experienced something more real than anything she'd ever known. She described it as being submerged in a dense, murky realm, a kind of earthy purgatory she called the Earthworm's Eye View. Time didn't exist there. It felt eternal. But then, she was rescued. A slowly spinning white light emerged from the darkness, wrapped in silvery golden threads, accompanied by a melody too perfect for words. As the light approached, everything changed. For others, the journey was equally profound. Some spoke of moving through tunnels not of darkness, but a radiant, shimmering rainbow light. One man realized the light was a conduit, connecting the dying and the newly born. On one side, souls were leaving the world. On the other, souls were entering. He knew instantly he was on the wrong train. It wasn't his time. In these realms, many encountered loved ones who had passed away, fathers, mothers, children, and even though no words were spoken, communication was instant and total. Our essences merged, one woman said of meeting her father. There were no vocal cords, no need for speech. I just knew what he wanted me to know. He told her. She had suffered enough, but if she chose to return, her life would not be one of pain anymore. She had gifts waiting for her. Then came the realm beyond the light, the Gateway Valley. It was a world of breathtaking beauty. Earth-like, but flawless. No death, no decay. Flowers bloomed in impossible colors. Trees swayed with otherworldly grace. Waterfalls sparkled like liquid crystals. And above it all, angelic choirs poured out music that wasn't just heard, it was experienced. These voices, these hymns, powered the joy that filled the valley. Souls danced. Butterflies spiraled in formation. It was a celebration of existence itself. And from these celestial choirs came portals, doorways into even higher realms. One experiencer found herself at the core, an infinite blackness overflowing with divine love. It was not emptiness, but the very source of creation. There, she understood that everything, every atom, every thought, every soul, was connected. There was no separation between her consciousness and the God Force. And that God Force? Pure, unconditional love. It was this love that transformed people. Again and again, those who returned from death spoke of the same realization. I didn't have to do anything to deserve love. I was loved simply because I existed. They came back changed. Fear fell away. Doubt dissolved. They no longer needed religion, dogma, or ritual to feel spiritual. They knew we are all spiritual beings just by being alive. One woman recalled that after her near-death experience, the light would come to her even after she'd returned to life. Daily, she would reconnect, and from those exchanges came insights, inventions, even predictions. She was tested in university experiments and correctly answered questions she had no way of knowing, except through the light. But the light warned her, don't be surprised if people care more about the questions than the answers. In the years that followed, she worked on groundbreaking ideas, often recording frequencies and diagrams that matched astronomical discoveries made decades later. She wasn't a scientist, but she saw what science had yet to find. Others were healed, miraculously. One woman, riddled with cancer, woke from a coma to a dire prognosis. Doctors gave her a 2% chance of surviving. Within 4 days, her tumors had shrunk by 70%. 3 weeks later, there was no trace of cancer. Another man, after 7 days in a coma, awoke with no memory of his loved ones, but full, vivid recollection of the realm beyond. The experiences were more real than anything in the hospital. Even after recovering, the spiritual world stayed with him, vivid, clear, unforgettable. When millions of people across cultures, continents, and centuries share the same story, the tunnel, the light, the reunion, the love, it becomes impossible to ignore. The soul is eternal, the God force is real, and love is at the center of it all. But the greatest lesson is not just what lies beyond death, it's what lies within life. One woman said it best: "My purpose isn't to strive for a perfect afterlife. My purpose is to live fully, fearlessly, authentically." The goal isn't to become more spiritual. We already are. Every one of us is a facet of the infinite. Our very existence is a miracle. Even in your darkest hour, life holds potential. Even on your worst day, your soul is growing. And someone, somewhere, would give anything to live that day you think is unbearable. You are here for a reason. You are enough. You are loved. So live. Live boldly. Live with purpose. Not because you're trying to earn the afterlife, but because you already carry a piece of it within you.